All right, ladies and gentlemen, so it's time to talk about the indie game Selaco. Now, if you guys don't know what Selaco is an indie first-person shooter that was showcased over at the Real Game Awards. And now, when we reacted to the Real Game Awards and I saw this video game, I thought it was interesting. I thought it looked pretty cool for the most part, and I actually wish-listed the game after seeing it on the Real Game Awards, right? But unfortunately, it looks like the developer has gone full woke psychopath and has decided to, I guess, I don't know, ignore or pretend as if they didn't want this, or I really don't know what's going on. Ultimately, they are trying to attack Sutter and Craig over on Twitter and claim that this is not something they wanted and they don't want to be partnered with hateful people. And of course, once this went down, you're going to have articles from Vice, from a journalist called Matt Vatica, who decides to have a complete coping session over it and melting down. So the headline reads, Indie FPS Selaco devs would rather sell less copies than be associated with your goofy award show. Wow, that sounds like a little bit of a hater, ladies and gentlemen. It sounds like somebody who cannot stand the thought of people doing things on their own. It sounds like somebody who desperately needs the validation of the mainstream gaming industry in order to have any sort of actual relevance whatsoever, even though this guy literally has zero. So let's get into this video, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, we're going to go into this article, but I want you guys to understand we also have some leaked screenshots from Selaco's own Discord server that we're going to be going into later on in this video, so stick around and let's get into it. It says, last night, a crowd-funded award ceremony celebrating real gamers made its shining debut, allegedly raising over $25,000 in funds. The pre-recorded event featured his host filming himself in some sort of barcade between glorified PowerPoint slides announcing such legitimate categories as shitty ass game and best jiggle physics. The show also featured trailers of lesser known titles, seemingly unbeknownst to the developers. Altered Orbit Studios, creators of the indie FPS Selaco, aren't too ecstatic about being a feature in the clown show. Now, again, this is a journalist who clearly votes in the Game Awards because it's only for the journalists, it's not for actual gamers. So, of course, they're going to try to protect the old guard and protect that particular show. I get it. The guy's coping. I totally understand. I also love the fact that these journalists love to bring up how much money that Stuttering Craig raised, but they never once want to bring up how much money fucking Jeff Keighley makes at the Game Awards, because trust me, it's millions, ladies and gentlemen. It's millions upon millions of dollars every year that he personally makes at the Game Awards, and nobody wants to bring it up. Nobody wants to bring it up that it costs $100,000 to $200,000 to showcase your trailer at the Game Awards, but you're worried about one guy raising $25,000 for real gamers that want to vote on video games themselves. That's what you're angry about? That's what you're coping about? Yeah, shut the fuck up, bro. Nobody, this is why nobody listens to these people, because they're very clearly for the industry. I get it. They need the industry to survive. They are so boring, they have no personality, and they need to be able to say, I'm a writer at Vice, in order to start a conversation with someone, because they can never do anything otherwise. They're complete boring people. Anyway, fans of Selaco were indeed quick to notice its inclusion in the award show, confused as to why Altered Orbit would connect with the show's problematic presenters and racist caricatures of Hideo Kojima. Then they took to X. Nextic, lead developer of Selaco, would swiftly quell the claims. Now, again, all of this is journalist claims. All of this. None of this is actually true, right? When they say that it shows problematic presenters, who's problematic? Who was problematic there? Are you really serious right now? And racist caricatures of Hideo Kojima? Really? Did Hideo Kojima call it racist? Or are you just calling it racist because you're trying to start shit and you're trying to devalue the Real Game Awards and you're trying to make it seem like it's problematic? Come on, bro. Who are you trying to convince here? Anyway, he says that we paid for nothing. I do not even know about this show. Next6 writes on Blue Sky, the more I'm looking into this, the more I want to distance myself. Now, I want to make something very clear really quick, okay? I really feel like Stuttering Craig, I get what he did. I understand he wanted to give indie developers a time to shine, and they were indie developers that were recommended by the fans, by the way. So these are your fans that are watching the Real Game Awards, and you're trying to alienate them because you want to side with the wokies like a retard. But okay, no problem. That's perfectly fine. These people were nominating you, and you got chosen as one of the 3 indie developers to be showcased at the Real Game Awards. A ton of people wishlisted your game because it was showcased at the Real Game Awards, and yet you want to throw all that away to make what? Alyssa Mercante happy? To make these journalists happy? Is that what you really want to do because you're such a pussy? Yeah, okay. That's number one. Number two, Stuttering Craig, I really feel like I get the good notion. I understand what you were trying to do, and I respect it. But you need to vet the people that you're going to show a trailer for in your next Game Awards. You really do. And the reason why is because not that they need to ideologically agree with you, but you just need to make sure that they're okay with you showing their trailer, even though, listen, it's publicly available trailers, and they put it online, so you have every right to show it. Just, that's the whole purpose of a trailer. You have every right to show it. I'm not saying you're in the wrong for showing it. What I'm saying is now what ended up happening is that this loser got all the free press. Thousands upon thousands of people saw that show, and he got all this free press, and he doesn't even like it. Like, he's not even appreciative of it. That sucks, right? It could have gone to a developer that would actually appreciate all that free press that came their way. But no, unfortunately, it went to this fucking loser who's trying to suck off all the journalists and beg them not to cancel him, because that's what he really is thinking. Whoever the developer is for this game is thinking, oh my God, I need to hurry up and just agree with the journalists. I don't want to be canceled, right? I'm trying to sell my game. He thinks that by being canceled by them, that's going to lead to less sales than if he was, shunned by us, which is hilarious to me. But anyway, that's besides the point. Posting from the official Selaco X account, however, the indie developer later responds to some dork ridiculing them for seemingly complaining about free advertising. When it comes to potentially damaging the brand we built from nothing, yes, absolutely. And that's perfectly justifiable. The fact that this idiot thinks that the journalist being on his side is somehow going to protect his brand of video game, bro, you're a retard. You have no idea who the actual real gamers are. You have no idea who has the actual buying power. You would be surprised how many of your purchasers of your game are supporters of Stuttering Craig, or even people like myself. I'm sure it would shock the hell out of you to know just how many people in your fan base support us versus those losers that you're trying to side with. But anyway, let's go over the leaked messages. Thanks to Grums, we got some leaked messages from the Discord server, and it says that indie game developer Selaco game lead coder and one other dev called Stuttering Craig and his show an angry culture war, desperate to find relevancy. One Selaco server member falsely accuses Craig of harassing people. This is real. You can't play my song at your rally vibes by shrieking leftist rockers upset at POTUS. So let's check out these 4 images. And of course, bro, so many of them are either anime profile pictures or furries, of course. I mean, I can only imagine the kind of people that are in this Discord server. So Piro says, so Selaco trailer was shown in the Real Game Awards. Just wondering, how does Nexic or people here think about that? Eddie says, Real Game Awards, question mark. Squirrel says, I never would have thought the game developers need, I don't even know what this is. Nexus says, no idea what that is, but the name implies it's hosted by a bunch of people who got so mad over something as stupid as an award show that they decided to host their own. Am I far off? Oh, it's the Screw Attack guy. How do I undo our nomination? Bro, you're a retard. You're an absolute retard. Number one, you know exactly who it is because you're trying to pretend like, oh, did I guess right? No, you didn't guess. You know exactly who they are. And then Nexic says he seems way too much of a culture war grifter, and I don't have the energy for either side of those. Are you sure? Are you sure? Because the people that you're pandering to right now, the journalists that you're pandering to right now, guess what? They're the real culture war grifters. So are you really sure you don't have time for both sides? Or are you pretending to fucking sit on the fence while you really ride the dick of the left? Like, what are we doing here? Then this person says, yeah, no worries. It's just so random when I watched that stream. Oh, so you watched it. Interesting. And yes, it made one of those people mad on the internet. I think they just took a few trailers from random games without asking to show between the awards. Shade says, oh yeah, he fell off hard after the game trailer days into the right-wing grifting pipeline. I just saw this pop up on my Twitter timeline with people talking about it. Nexus says, I guess people go to desperate measures trying to find their relevancy again. Oh, really? Shame. I was a huge game trailers guy back in the day. The good people eventually reunited as easy allies, but they're also on the verge of collapse, I believe, unfortunately. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why. So the good people, the people who you swear are not grifters, you mean to tell me they can't get any financial support whatsoever? They can't get any actual tangible support from the people that claim to be toxically positive? They can't get any support? You guys are letting them just hang dry and they're about to be on the verge of collapse because of you? That's amazing. And yet you have the audacity to claim that Stuttering Craig and other people like him are not relevant when they're doing perfectly fine. Like, you guys are coping. Martha, with another interesting profile picture, says, from skimming it, that's pretty much what they said. We're going to show off indie games, and they don't even know they're part of it or somewhere along the lines. And again, these trailers are publicly available trailers. They don't have to know that they're part of it. I just think it was a good idea to at least try to make sure they knew. Neo says, looked up that video, and the first comment says, nuh-uh. Plaster says, that's basically basically the gist of it. They appeal to the anti-woke audience and stir up all kinds of shit, including harassing my peers. Such a weird thing to include you as a sponsor and not ask, though. That's insane. So Platersaur must be some sort of developer or somebody in the gaming industry, maybe a journalist. Really not sure, but it wouldn't surprise me. Neo says sponsor at 1410. Plater said, no, yeah, it's not really the right word here, but either way, it's just weird not to ask the dev. Cockatree says, from what I understand, they didn't ask anybody that was featured, but in reality, they really don't have to ask just to play some trailers. They are freely available on the internet and are designed to be shared. Good job at least having a brain, whoever this is, because that's exactly what it is. But I will say this, and I'll end it on this note. Craig, you got to ask the next time. Just ask them and make sure you know who you're giving the attention to, because there's clearly people out there that do not appreciate any of it. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.